What a run we've had in this season's I Beg to Differ students debate. Season 8 has thrown up all sorts of drama. In the first Lagos regional finals, we were hit with tragedy when one of the brightest debaters, after leaving the debate stage, found out she had lost her mother. Yeah. And we also saw tragedy of another sort when the individual who at point seemed like the overwhelming favorite to win the debate succumbed at a crucial point, I think in the semi-final.
Yep.
Owing to concerns we did not even know existed, health challenges, multiple surgeries, and she soldiered on like a true soldier in a battlefield until she could go no further. But at that time, she had already written her name in glory as one of the 4 finalists who would represent Lagos from that regional finals. And though she succumbed in that semi-final, we still celebrate her. To this second regional finals, that's had everything from brilliance and surprises and all what have you. And again, to a point where somebody who seemed at that point to be the overwhelming favorite has succumbed again at a critical stage of this competition. But we have experience and we've realized that nerves are a thing that happen to the best of us at any point. And when it does happen, it does happen. It takes nothing away from your quality. It takes nothing away from your brilliance. It takes nothing away from your path, your trajectory through life. And at the same time, it is nobody's fault that it happens. Certainly not the fault of the tournament organizers. Certainly not the fault of the competing students institution or the competing students family. And as it so often happens, it's not even the fault of the competing student themselves. Things just happen sometimes when you least expect them. And so here we arrive, the day before the final. Tomorrow is the final of I Beg to Differ Season 8. Second regional finals. And tomorrow we will see that final battle between Ifeoluwa and Esther. And we've seen some brilliant debaters fall by the wayside. I still mourn the exit of Dora. I like to call her the explorer in this debate. And we saw Emanuela fall by the roadside. I hurt inside when David fell. I think was that in the quarterfinals.
And Anthony.
Yes, Anthony, brilliant boy. Or Azima, young girl whom everybody thought would go really far.
Fearless, yeah.
But that's the nature of contests. Lagos, good afternoon to you. I'm Femi Obong-Daniels, and she is
Maryann Okon. It's a pleasure to have you join us for this third place match of the I Beg to Differ students debate.
Yes. And you will notice that probably we're starting differently. Usually we come with a lot of aplomb, say some motive stirring words to try and stir the debaters to, to succeed.
Yeah.
And so we're keeping it light. We'd like to say thank you to all our sponsors and partners. Obi Wheezy, there for like forever, and you kind of feel they'll be there forever. We really, really appreciate Obi Wheezy throughout this journey of the I Beg to Differ Students Debate, your plug for all sorts of gadgets. And they have provided all these contestants with brilliant gadgetry yet again and support to the contest. Special thanks to Chrisland Schools, who have also supported us. Special thanks to Diamond and Pearls Travels, our travel partners for the national finals. And also special thanks to Tollywood College, our prize money sponsor. For the second time out in this season 8, and we appreciate it. The third place final was scheduled for Akinsulie, Oyindamola, and Chalokwu, Naomi. It is 4:22. Chalokwu Naomi is in the building. Akinsulie, Oyindamola is not in the building. So we tarried a little while to give our time, but at 4 p.m., at the point when the debate should start, we got a message from her school saying she will not be taking part in the third place final. The implication of this is that we'll have a walkover in the third place final, and the prize money of 250,000 naira will go to the student who is here for her prize money. But my producer has asked that we address this, and we may just as well address it so that we can all take a lesson from it. And I am joined in this broadcast not only by Maryann, but our judges are tied in. The chief judge, Dr. Chike Ngbadiche. Dr. Chike Ngbadiche is with us. Ufoma Egbamuno, Judge Ufoma Egbamuno is with us, hooked in. And Yvonne Haifo, who's also our third judge and diction judge, is also in the studio with us. So we want to keep everything straight. So once again, we want to say very so how do I say it? It's difficult. I want to say it. I want to be very open about it, but at the same time I want to be careful especially because a very young person is involved somehow in this conversation. And the young girl bears no responsibility whatsoever. She came here, she wowed all of us, she was super impressive, and it seemed like there was no stopping her. And then in the semi-finals, as sometimes happens, even the big teams, even the big teams in football, sometimes shock everyone and themselves too, and probably they just choke in the heat of the pressure, or maybe just something just does not add up on the day, and they fail. So I'm going to be putting my judges to task. Nobody has heard Judge Chike Ngbadiche or Judge Ufoma during this particular debate, so we might hear from them. And the reason why I'm interested in hearing from them is good to understand the thinking when they make their determination. So, judges, I'm going to take you back to the semi-final debate. I would think it was between Esther and Oyindamola. And the reason why I'm saying this is that out of deference for our partners, and I will tell you that it's tough. I remember the first time that Sheriff told me that a school would be had asked if they could be a part of the sponsorship, be a part of the prize money. I was genuinely worried. I was like, school. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. especially if that school too will be participating. It's tough because people can impugn impropriety very quickly, especially if the sponsoring school seems to be succeeding. But the argument was like, yeah, but we will always be fair. If you are good, you are good. If you win, you win. The judges are incorruptible. They would make their determination based on the facts on hand, and we do not influence anything. I think I had to explain at some point that when we do the draw, starting from the first draw, the draws take a life of their own after that first draw. When we do that first draw, it is a blind draw. Nobody is looking at anybody's face. Nobody is looking at what school anybody comes. And that's why sometimes you would see that two people from the same school meet themselves earlier. We would like to avoid it if possible, but that would mean that we have to begin to look at it and say, why is this person from this school? Let's meet this. It's a blind thing. It's a scoring system. So during the auditions, the judges score. If we're going to do 32 students, then it's very simple. They will score whether it's 100 or 1,000 or 1 million students, that the judges are going to score everybody one by one. And based on the scoring, where these judges do not know most of these people by name or what school they are based on, they will look at the first 16, the top 16, and then they will place the top 16 in a cadre. It's like placing them in a draw, like in a pot. The best 16 performance in one pot. Then they will go for the next 16 best from number 17 to 32 and put them in pot 2. The question then becomes, you will now do a blind draw of the 16 from pot 1. So the object is so that the top 16 do not meet themselves in the first round, in the round of 32. So you put them, it's like seeding them. So you seed the best 16. Then you will now do a blind draw of the second best 16. Those second best 16 will now go against the best 16. So imagine that you do a column, 16 boxes of the best 16 from the scoring. At the bottom, you now do another column of the second best 16. And anybody from the second column or the second pot can meet anybody from the first pot. And then you have your draw. That is it. Once you've drawn blindly, then you now begin. It's after that, when the draw has been done, that you now begin to gather data. Who is who? What school? The draw has been done. It cannot be affected. And from that point on, it's down to the performance and the scoring. Trusting that the judges will be fair, they need contest. When a contest or a decision is made, suppose feel this way, but I think I didn't agree with the judges. You don't overall decision, agree with the overall decision, agree in the round. Agree that the judges were right. The content that judges unanimously decided one, but if God was as bored as and it's not like even here, we need to have our own little after battle, after assessment of how to and then the judges supply empirical data, and I can tell you no dealings to this as judges. I don't judge. Maryann does it. Maryann has no. Sorry, I had to throw you under the bus. But the judges are taking note. And every time we have one of the judges in the studio, you see how they work. Like in the final, when usually the chief judge joins us. Or when, on this occasion, where Yvonne is on judge duty and she's in the studio. I'm sitting down here. Sometimes I'm like, how does she even... Because Yvonne has 2 notes. One note for the debate proper, the debate judging. Another note for diction scoring. I'm like, how are you able? I couldn't do that for the life of me. I would scatter everything. And she meticulously does her notes here, because every time one of these students drops a point, the judges do a quick note of that point. It's not just that they score. They do a quick, they do a quick note of that scoring. And they do a note so that they can come back and look at the quality of the rebuttal when a rebuttal is done. So if you say you are rebutting this point, they know the point you are rebutting. And then they pay attention to your rebuttal and they make notes too. And the judges can determine whether you did a great job or it was just there. And they will score you accordingly. So it is not unusual for some people who follow the debates to have a different opinion than what the scorecards say. It is okay. We quarrel with the refereeing of football matches all the time, or any sporting activity, or any activity. If we even quarrel with... There was one time I came second in my class. I was in primary school. And my best friend in class beat me. And it was the first time that boy was going to beat me. And I wasn't happy that he beat me. And as small as I was suggesting impropriety, because my best friend was the son of our teacher. And in all, I do not know any teacher in my life that I appreciate more than Mrs. Adeniboye in primary school. That woman is the best teacher I ever had. And then I was complaining and I was crying because I was like a rat like that. It was primary school, it was probably primary 5 or something. And I was like, in the heat of the moment, I suggested that maybe the teacher just favored her son. And I remembered my teacher cried when my protest suggested, and that thing affected me. And that woman was one of the fairest women you could ever meet anywhere. So it is not unusual for you to feel that if results don't go your way, maybe somebody was favored. Back to the point. So we had a situation where a brilliant student, and I will say this till tomorrow, forever. I don't know how Tollywood, there are some schools that have been brilliant. What's the Ifeoluwa school?
Greenfield.
Wellspring. Wellspring has already produced 2 champions. And one of the champions was not only regional champion, she was national tournament of champions. She was champion of champions. And they produced another champion after her. And they have another student in the final again. And sometimes you don't remember. Do you know, Yvonne, remember, we didn't even know that, what's the name of the kid? Olajolo. Akinsulie. I didn't even know she was from the same school as Mary Oke Ashe until the final.
He told us.
It was in the final after he had won it.
Yeah. He actually told us that she coached.
Yeah, it was when we were interviewing him that he said, Mary coached me. That was when and a whole debate had gone for like a month, and it did not even strike any of us that this boy, who I did not even see in the final, and I tell you this, after his first debate, or the first 2 debates, I did not see him anywhere near the final. And the boy just kept going on and going on. And he kept improving until he blew us all away in the final. Maybe if he had gone up against a prime Ucheja, a healthy Ucheja, maybe it would have been a different story. Maybe. But that was it. So there are some schools that do a brilliant job. And how about May Hall? New Hall. Look at the brilliant debaters they've produced. And even our school from Ogun State that couldn't... Day Waterman. Look at the quality of the students that they produced. It's fantastic. So you've got to give those schools the credit.
Including Ikorodu Senior High School.
Senior High School. Surprisingly, because these are not Ikorodu Senior High School. They are not Ivy League. They are not, they are not gang. like that. But for these kids to be coming here and competing against what you'd call the creme de la creme, it's brilliant. But when the situation does not go your way, I think it's unfair on everyone who worked so hard to put this together to outrightly impugn impropriety on the contests. So we got a message at 4 p.m. today, 4 p.m. from the school. Now, I want to believe this message did not come from the school's proprietor or owner, but it's still from a representative of this school. And I think it's sad. Maryann, you want to go over?
Are you sure you want to hear what I have to say? Are you sure you want to go with me first?
Yeah. Wait, I just want you, whatever you have to say.
I think you should go with Yvonne
I'm afraid of Yvonne, but I'm more afraid of Yvonne than you.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
I want you ladies to temper.
I like that.
I want you ladies to temper what you have to say. Not because of the school, not because they are partners or supporters or prize money sponsors, but because of the girl. The girl. Do you understand? For the sake of the girl. And this has nothing to do with the girl. Oh, the girl. I've had the distinct privilege of meeting the girl's father. Oh, yes, fantastic man. I love Mr. Akinsulie, and he's the kind of person, friendship you would want to have way beyond this. I love the man, his mind and all of that. So out of deference to him and out of appreciation for the young girl, because we have to make sure whatever happens, we don't damage the contestants. Okay. But we got a very unfair and very funny message from...
Unsavory.
Very unfortunate message from the institution at 4 p.m. Not before. Not yesterday. Not this afternoon. And you kind of feel that it's deliberate. Now, the message starts by saying they've controlled the girl. So we understand. And I've always said, sometimes it is hard contestants to go further when tumble in a stage as critical as the semi-final. The critical stage. Even in World Cup, we've seen each one teams in the semi-final and it's like the go football to get sure it never happens again. Do you understand? We as the organizers of this debate, we already have to deal with that. It is possible some people might listen to the debate and conclude that maybe we are favoring the school sponsoring the prize money.
It's interesting that you brought this up, Femi, because in the last edition, these concerns were raised by members of the audience. I remember one of them saying, while Ocheja debated, saying in the comment on YouTube that at first he worried that, this now that Tollywood is in this competition, he hoped that the judges wouldn't, play or favor her to win until he heard her speak, and then she gave a good account, of herself in that competition, and he went, okay, so Tollywood College really has great minds, but that concern about the possibility or the worry of the organizers possibly favoring a debater from the sponsoring school, was raised. And you also mentioned that you were also worried about the thought of having a school sponsor I Beg to Differ and whatnot. But thankfully, so far, the judges of I Beg to Differ have been impartial because the facts are the facts. The audience listened to the debates as much as the judges. Even the judges do more of the work of paying rapt attention because they have to judge
more than anybody.
And so sometimes the judges have judged in a way that the audience also found bewildering, but still had to accept, because at the end of the day, the judges are the judges and they know what they're looking for.
We've even had occasions when the judges have sharply disagreed.
Absolutely
disagreed.
I have disagreed in this competition on certain occasions as well. But that is where the agency and independence of each judge comes into play. So I just wanted to put that out there, Femi.
So it's important. So here, Maryann.
I'm just going to say that I'm disappointed.
Temper justice with mercy.
No. I'm just going to say I'm really disappointed that we would. I understand that as a child you will feel pain that, because in your mind you want to win. Everybody came here because they wanted to win. But unfortunately, this happened. But the fact that the school is dangling the kid and playing that card of, oh, you cheated her out, I find that very condescending for us as a brand, as people you partnered with. So does it mean you partnered with a fraud? Is that what you're calling us? I feel terrible that.
Or did you partner with us because you wanted your school to win?
But we're not those people. We don't do that. And if we want a good country, it has to start from little things like this. You take what you see as results. Don't try to manipulate it because you think that, well, we're giving you the money, so you should actually pander to. I want to believe that that's not what you're thinking.
No, I don't think it is.
Well,
I don't even want to. I don't want to contemplate it because.
But it was obvious. Yeah. If we were to put out a poll now, we all experienced the choking and the tension in the room. It was very obvious, which obviously led to how the scoring, played out.
Yeah.
There is no. I'm really disappointed, and I really don't want to go on.
So here's the message from a representative of the institution, because the producer has insisted that we, I've been asking, back and forth. I've been reluctant to share the message, but let's just put it out there. So the message reads thus: till this morning, we were still consoling the girl, that's Oyindamola, but she has not recovered from the cheat. And these words were used deliberately. She has not recovered from the cheat that was done to her at the semi-finals. More so, the school and several public proponents who also called the school that Tollywood College was rigged out of the competition. And this suggests to us that the IBTD team, that's the I Beg to Differ team, takes pleasure in having a one-sided final. This is a blatant allegation. To this effect, we regret to inform you that our debater will not be coming for the third place match. This was sent to us at 4 p.m. As at 10 minutes to 4, it was 10 minutes to 4 that I was made aware that we only had one contestant. I was like, where's the other contestant? They said they had been reaching, they had called, no responses. We were trying the producer was trying everything. And then I came upstairs and then I said, well, let's just try our best. It's possible that something. And then I remember I was trying to tell the digital guys that, how it can be. Sometimes some contestants can't find the motivation, especially the very good ones, especially the favorites. When you are a favorite and it's clear that it's your contest to lose, when you lose it, to find the motivation is hard. Our precious David Minanengio, for remember at the national,
I was just about to raise that as well.
At the national finals, he lost in the most inauspicious manner in the semi-final, even though he was one of the favorites to get into the final. He lost, and he was quite understandably, the poor kid was heavily demoralized. You see, it's easier for you when you don't have the pressure of being favorite. When the pressure of being favorite comes and you falter, it can be devastating. It can be devastating. But as these are kids, those of us who are adults, it's our responsibility, and shame on us if we fail in that responsibility. It's our responsibility, one, to reassure them and help them see that life can be like that. Sometimes the race does not belong to the swift. The food does not belong to the wise. Sometimes time and chance or chance being
them all.
happenstances, unforeseen occurrences befalls everyone.
And I think it's also important to point out that this message by Tollywood College, bless them, signals something. And I think, and I say this with much concern in my heart, it signals to the students the entitlement mentality. And that is a problem, because then it presupposes that you think you're better than everybody else. And so when things don't go your way, how dare that other person get it? How dare that other person? Who do they think they are? I don't think you're being fair to me. But life, as you have said, doesn't always swing in our favor. And it is our duty as human beings to be humble enough to acknowledge that life happens to everyone. And so what do? We respond with that sense of humility, because the world doesn't revolve around anybody, and not even a school.
No doubt.
So it's really important that this school takes into account the precedents they are setting for their students, the kind of message they're telling their students, that it's okay to be entitled, it's okay to think you're all that, because every other person is less, and you should expect to have so and so, and if you don't have so and so, then it means you're being marginalized or being victimized or whatever. Now, that is a dangerous message.
Very dangerous,
it's a dangerous
for children
message
of that age.
Exactly.
And what this show is trying to do is mold these kids for the real world. And I thought that was the ethos of Tollywood College, preparing them for the real world. So how do you suppose these kids would manage in the real world if this is the message you're passing to them? I'm really heartbroken.
So for us as adults, I think it's down to our responsibility, and we should take it seriously. Because sometimes we project our frustrations on the kids.
Right.
Do you understand? There is not, even if the kids feel somewhat, it is your responsibility to help them. And I mentioned Minanenge for David. I was heartened by the fact that after we had been told, we were told from the dead, of course, Minanenge for his mom is somebody that I had the pleasure of meeting at the school once when fantastic woman. And I can understand that as a mom, she was highly disappointed and all of that. And we had been told much earlier that David was not going to come for the third place final. Okay, no wahala. But whether it's the school or the parents or both of them, they thought about it later and asked the boy to come. He came for it. He didn't even win the third place final, right? Because clearly the kid could not.
He was demoralized.
He could not find the motivation. It reminds me of Claire Mika. When Claire Mika in season 7 or season 6?
In season 7.
Season 6. Season 7 was what's the name of the young girl?
Season 6.
Season 6. When she lost in the semi-final. And I think she went up against Mary. Okay, that was what a debate. And then she lost. And Claire Mika was top 2 favorites at that point. And she lost. And she came for the third place final. And she was even late for the... No, she wasn't late. She was early for the third place final. But you could tell that after being so brilliant all through, she could not really find the motivation or the work ethic. So, and then she lost that final to, what's the name of the boy? The boy from Badagry.
I cannot remember his name right now.
Yeah. So
Ufoma is saying if he can speak.
Yes. Ufoma, please. We're going to open the mic to our judges, which was why we asked that you please join this broadcast. Ufoma is one of our judges. Please, let's hear you.
Ufoma, are you speaking? Because
Ufoma, you have to buy. You have to spend money on better data.
Better data, please.
That is my phone.
Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Clearly.
Yes, we can.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to unmute myself. I don't know what was wrong with the phone. So I'm going to try as much as possible to like Femi said, temper my words. Because if I'm being honest, my first reaction, getting to see that message about 5 or 10 minutes ago, if I go with the first reaction I had in my head, it probably would not be great for radio. But again, that's why we're all adults. Sometimes you don't have to react, to certain things the way they actually present themselves. But I would also have to say this. I think I find it quite insulting. Some of the words, the choice of words that were used to signal, to use the word cheat. It's actually so low, and it more or less rubbishes or tries to rubbish the hard work that we put in as judges. That we have to take our time to listen to every single word that the debaters put out, just so we can understand clearly what they're saying, how great the point is or not, whether or not they're able to back up their points with good examples or good statistics. It's a whole lot. I think I've said this before behind the scene that usually for me, I don't even like seeing the faces of the debaters. I just want to hear them. I don't want to just get attached to anyone. Just listen to what they're saying and judge based on what they're listening to. I remember vividly that I think it was last week, because I joined online. I had a bit of an internet issue that made me drag back for about 2 or 3 minutes. I literally had to not put out my scores at the same time the 2 other judges did, because I had to go back to our live stream on, I think, YouTube or Facebook, I'm not sure again, to listen again. Thankfully, all the breaks, the ad breaks and all of that, before all of that would wrap up, I was done with listening to that replay. That's to show you how much effort we put into. It's not just you wake up, and you just give people scores.
Ufoma,
if I talk specifically about,
we have to go.
Hold your thought. We'll take a short break. We'll come back and we'll build on this. Okay.
Sports after this.
Okay.
Start your children's day with a great taste of Ovaltine, enriched with multi-nourishment, calcium, malt, and vitamin B12 to support learning and playtime. Ovaltine, smart choice for smart kids.
Education is a key driver for growth for any economy. With the increased use of technology in various sectors, it's time to beam the spotlight on how technology can be used to strengthen the education sector, level the playing field, and make education accessible for all. Join us on EdTech Mondays on Nigeria Info, Lagos at 6:45 a.m. every Monday as we discuss the key education stakeholders on emerging topics in education and the use of technology for addressing any challenges. EdTech Mondays is brought to you by MasterCard Foundation and Co-Creation Hub, Nigeria.
Attention travelers, pack your bags. ValueJet now flies from Lagos to Owerri and Owerri to Lagos twice a week. Enjoy a great mix of modern convenience, affordable fares, and hassle-free travel on every flight. Whatever your reason for travel, ValueJet gets you there in style and comfort. To book your flights, visit our website at www.flyvaluejet.com or download our mobile app on Google Play Store or App Store.
Value Jet. Wings for everyone.
During this blessed month of Ramadan, we begin with faith and the spirit of giving.
Families and neighbors come together by sharing delicious meals. From jollof rice to tomato stew, from moi moi to porridge beans, every meal is specially prepared and flavorful with Onga seasoning cubes. Together, we share not just food, but love with those who need it most.
Celebrate the blessings of this holy month with Onga seasoning cubes. Onga, for great taste and aroma.
The holy month of Ramadan is upon us. As we embark on this journey, let's not forget to show love through sharing. This Ramadan, stay ahead with daily power from Suhoor to Iftar. Join us every Monday to Friday as we explore the spiritual and physical benefits of the month, plus exciting recipes. Catch us on our YouTube page, Kolandia Dairy Nigeria, and on Dadin Kowa, Farenwata, Sunna TV, Arewa TV, and African Magic Hausa TV stations. Ramadan Mubarak from Hollandia.
Life is always full of wahala, but there is music, passion, feelings, and good vibes. Take a ride with InDrive app to get there on your own terms. You decide what your life will be full of and choose a fair price for this ride. InDrive, the InDrive online passenger transportation aggregator, is not a taxi service. Find more information at www.indrive.com.
Mama, I dey hungry. Yes, my pikin. Oya, go change. Make you come chop.
My children are my life, but I know say they need to eat well to do well. Since I discover Maggi soya chunks, to add protein to my food don't dey easy.
Now, I no dey worry whether them get protein for food, because with Maggi soya chunks, I fit give them protein for food.
Protein every day for my family.
Start your children's day with a great taste of Ovaltine, enriched with multi-nourishment, calcium, malt, and vitamin B12 to support learning and playtime. Ovaltine, smart choice for smart kids.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We are back.
We're back on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Welcome back, Lagos.
Choice. There's no loyalty.
We remain loyal to bringing you the details and stories around the world.
The boys in that environment were just shooting and pursuing them.
Shooting?
I escaped that place in a whisker.
AP, PDP, they are comedians.
I'm not going to come to this platform to campaign for anybody. I will not to stand there to cause a problem.
Only on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Let's talk.
Yeah, of course, let's talk. We had to let that go. So welcome back to this penultimate day of the debate. Naomi is in the house. We'll hear from Naomi. We had to keep Naomi out of the studio so that we can have this conversation and not bother the child with it. But again, it's just so that we can all learn from it. Here's a message I got. It says, "Good afternoon, Femi and your colleagues in the studio. I appreciate you guys for the good job you are doing. I am Irabuchi Splendid." That's his name, Irabuchi Splendid, commenting from London. "I followed the debate, not only that of Lagos, but Abuja and PH, Port Harcourt. It is always mind-blowing. In fact, I send money to support the children, though Lagos don't normally take my messages during the debate. I am an authority in the English language. I can authoritatively say that I know the structure very well. Having said that, many times I aligned with the results of your judges. Therefore, you have nothing to worry about. You did your job. You came, you saw, and you conquered. Nobody can box you in." Thank you very much for that, Irabuche, we really appreciate. And there are many messages coming in, and we'll take them.
So many.
Yes, but quickly going by, Ufoma was making a point.
Yes.
So Ufoma would let you land, and then we'll also hear from Dr. Chike Ngbadiche.
Yes, so can you hear me?
Clearly.
Yes,
Go ahead.
we can.
Yeah, so what I was actually trying to say, my final point is that when you take your time to do all of these things and then you get, such a message at such an hour, it feels really deflating. But then again, what needs to be said needs to be said. If you take your time, go back and watch that semi-finals again. It's still up on our handles.
Yeah, it is.
And critically look at it. Oyindamola did not have the best of days on that day. She was great coming in, but she wasn't great on the day. And I'll give a very good example. When she was on the rebuttal round, she lumped 4 points together to rebut. I think 3 or 4 points. I can't remember.
4 points.
If you lump 3 or 4 points to rebut, and you only give, I think about 4 points, and you only give one explanation, and that one explanation does not cover all 4 points, what is the judge supposed to do? Score you for 4 points? She got scores for just 1 point in that particular round, or in that particular point she gave. If you go to the presentation, she did not score more points than her opponent.
Right.
Matter of fact, her opponent, if we're also being honest, was not even the greatest on the day.
Yeah.
But
she'd been better
round,
before that day.
She scored more points. Exactly. Presentation round, she scored more points. Rebuttal round, she scored more points. She was not great in her closing. And if you look through the scores, it was represented that way. So again, I'm saying, if Oyindamola lumps 2-3 points together and tries to report them with one sentence or one explanation that really doesn't cover all of those different points, what are we supposed to do? Score her for the 3-4 points she lumped together? I again, like you guys already noted, let's know that this is a competition. Sometimes you get the luck of the draw. You get the luck of the draw. You meet quote unquote easy opponents. Sometimes, even when you meet easy opponents, you are not great. France will play Switzerland in the round of 16 of a competition, and on that day, 9 out of 10 times, France will probably be the favorites. But on a particular one experience, Switzerland can just do well and defeat France. We see that happen all the time. So to use that, and then come up to call whatever must have been presented as cheat, I honestly found that quite disrespectful. But again, it is what it is, and we're trying to address this, just to ensure that certain things are clear. I wouldn't take the effort and the experience, we've put into this work, do all we need to do, for someone to just wake up and call me a cheat. Honestly, I find it disrespectful.
Yeah, and then just to add to that, I would expect that the institution would at least reprimand whoever it was that sent that message. It's ridiculous. It's petty. Now, I can understand nerves are frayed. If you are disappointed, you are disappointed, and it's okay to be disappointed.
But making such a hefty allegation, baseless for one.
I remember when Italy dumped Nigeria out of its first World Cup in 1994. I felt like I went into a depression. Like I literally went into it. I started dreaming nonsense dreams. Like vote. You won't believe this. I dreamt that I rode in one of the Voltron Lions and went to the World Cup and carried the cup, the trophy, and ran away.
It was just your mind. You.
My mind is like, and there were jokes like I dreamt that FIFA had cancelled the World Cup and said they will start again. There's nothing I didn't dream.
Because
and I was in a very bad place. But I also told myself that never again will a football match affect me like this. Never ever.
Might I also add quickly and just, clearly that I beg to differ is not it doesn't belong to any school. I beg to differ does not belong to any school and shouldn't answer to any school. With all due respect,
will not answer
to any school or anybody. Save our audience. But even at that, there will be limits. I beg to differ is an independent debate competition that has a clear-cut motive. Mold minds. Okay? And in molding minds, there will be times when some debaters who have lost feel a certain way. But mold minds, I beg to differ, will continue to do. So, and I think going forward, schools should not be considered as possible sponsors of I beg to differ anymore.
I concur.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it was for me, that was where I drew the line. And I was just like, no, never again. At the end of the day, have you noticed that, Chrislands came on board for the national finals? They are here again with us this season. Have you heard a debater from Chrisland? We had a debater from Chrisland in season 6. I think season 6.
Long before they partnered.
The what's her name now? Popular name.
Brilliant.
Chimamanda.
Yes.
Brilliant. She came in here in this debate, had an opening that all our
unfortunately she lost to Naomi Richard.
Yvonne, our jaws were on the floor like this. I was like, who is this person? Nobody's ever going to beat this girl. And then she got to the rebuttal rounds. And you could tell that she was not used to the rebuttals.
Right.
Do you understand? Maybe, and you could tell she was. I was to hear later that she wasn't even from the school, that she wasn't even one of their top debaters. And this is a school that has won national and international debates, so they are very good. But they are sponsors. They don't have a debater. If we were going to rig something, won't we rig their debaters in? Now. And you could say and it will be justifiable because a host country at the World Cup does not even have to go through the qualifiers. Because you are the host, you get an automatic spot. But even that, we don't do. There have been times when Green Springs have sent, their entries. Several entries, but they were unable. Chrisland, sorry. They've sent multiple entries,
and
but they were unable.
They
could not upload.
Right.
So these kids registered, but they could not upload the audio for whatever reason. And we didn't say, well, because so we will give you a pass. No, because we can't. We just have to follow what it is. The other kids who manage to upload their audio files, we can't favor you. Exactly. Even though we would love to have them at the debates. And I think
rules are rules, Femi.
Yeah, certainly.
And we cannot shift, we cannot bend the rules to suit anyone because those rules are sacrosanct.
Yeah.
They are why I beg to differ is I beg to differ.
Yeah.
And those rules will never change to favor anybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or any school.
The school that came from Ogun State. Again, like I said, a number of their students, maybe like 4 or 5, qualified for the debate that season. But they were going to travel every day. And if you left to that school, what's the school again? Daywaterman. They would have been happier if they could just come on the same day, debate, go back. But we didn't do it like that because we did not even open our eyes to that possibility. It was just an open thing based on. So poor school had to bring this one on Monday, bring another one on Tuesday, bring this and because of that, those kids dropped out one after. Some did not even make their first debate. Others were impressive, but I don't think any of them was beaten. I think they just dropped out because of the pressure.
And one thing happened.
Yeah.
The debate continued.
The debate will continue.
The debate continued. And what Tollywood College did today, hoping that this would sabotage I beg to differ, is disappointing. But
I don't want
the debate
to jump.
Will continue.
Yvonne, I don't want to jump to that conclusion.
Okay. I am already there, but it's
Notice how I'm not speaking anymore.
I think it's unfortunate. And I feel that whoever took this decision didn't really think it through.
No, they didn't.
You've not given the child an education.
Yeah.
That you had a chance to give that child a critical. Let Oyindamola come to this studio.
Moment.
Let her even struggle through like David did. Let her just come and let her understand. I mean, what are you telling the young girl? Do you know? And she's a brilliant girl. And just when I was sitting down, the producer came and said we are tweaking our bylaws. I don't know. I hope I would appeal. To the producer as we go. If you deliberately skip the third place, then you have no part in the national finals.
You lose one, you lose the rest.
Yeah, I don't.
And I agree.
I know it looks like justice, but I do not know. Again, if that kid.
It's not just even about justice, Femi. It's about making it a deterrent.
But I also remember that this kid did not have a say. You might argue with me that we took that step because we could not console the kid. No. It's not the kid. Somewhere along the line, the kid will probably come and take this life lesson. This kid could comfortably win the national finals.
Yes.
This particular girl.
That's how brilliant she is.
She is that brilliant.
Unfortunately,
she only needs not choke.
Exactly.
Because she choked in that. I was shocked.
She hadn't choked up until that
I was
time.
shocked. And it was in her opening.
Until that time.
It was in her opening that she first choked. I was like, what is going on?
These are kids. It's tension and it can get the best, even as adults.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why we're politicizing this whole thing and trying to make this child. Did anybody ask this child what the child really wanted? Judge Chike is here anyway.
Judge Chike, are you with us? Chief Judge.
Yes, I am.
Dr. Chike, thanks for joining us. Welcome.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, everybody.
Yes,
without sounding or more like I'm repeating what everyone has said, my concern and my comments perhaps go straight to the school. I don't think debater Oyindamola has any issue here. For me, it's on us, on the adult and the school to support her. As you've explained, truly, when you get broken in this way, it's sometimes difficult to pick yourself up. Only those with experience can pick themselves up, after that fall. She knows that debate, she lost it fair and square, and that's the beauty of any competition. You go into a competition to win, and at the same time, it can go the other way. Just as she prepared, Esther, her opponent, equally did the same. Even though people might think that she was the favorite, sure, she was, but on that day, she lost fair and square to a better debater on that day, either by a close margin or not, but she lost. I think the school has to understand that it's not just about academics, life skill and preparing these kids for the future is the second part of sending kids to school. It's not just about the math, the English, and the science and whatnot sort. It's about preparing them for school and for life. I think also we need to understand that failure isn't to be considered as something bad. The problem with failure is when you don't learn from it. But when we begin to give failure a negative toga, that's when we miss things of life and from life. She failed on that day, but that takes nothing away from her brilliance and from her competence. It could be anything. It was clear she choked, she had nerves, and she couldn't even carry on. But that's just a blip. It's just one of, She comes again for another competition. She might win, and she'll do better. So I think Tollywood.
Are you there?
Dr. JK, are you there?
Okay. Something must have happened to your audio. I was as heartbroken as I was for the young lady. I was only heartened by the fact that at least when it happened in the semifinals, where at that point she had already qualified for the national finals. That was my thought. Yeah. And though she seemed when Nigeria played Spain at the 1998 World Cup in France, Spain were the number 1 favorite to win that World Cup in the world. That match we beat them 3-1. That Zubizarreta. For those who follow, they did not even qualify from our group, and they were the world's overwhelming
3-2 actually.
Yeah, 3-2. Yeah, we beat them 3-2. When I think it was Ahmed. What's the name of the guy? Garba. Who scored?
Garba scored. So Luis scored the winner.
Yes. And it's not the first time where the overwhelming favorite just chokes even in the group stage. They don't get to the quarterfinal, they don't get to the second stage, and all of that. We've seen it.
I remember what I told her.
Femi,
Go ahead, Chicken.
Sorry to cut you. I needed to add this point because I forgot it. The last national finals we had last year, the eventual winner, Mariuke Ashia, had an off day in the build-up to the finals of that competition.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was in the preliminary rounds. I think she lost.
Yeah,
and she was only saved that
quarter or semi-final.
We had
it was in the quarterfinal.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't semi-finals. It wasn't up to the semi-finals.
Quarterfinal.
I think it was in the quarterfinal. Yes, but she was saved that day, or she remained in the competition because for the national finals we had this
wild card. Yeah,
wild card.
Yeah.
You know, where one of the losers had the chance to come back.
You should have seen the shock on my face. I was shocked.
Mary eventually picked herself up and went ahead to win the competition.
Mm-hmm.
For those who also remember, the first winner of the very first edition of I Beg to Differ, Tamvita,
mm-hmm.
she was so great that everybody kept asking, how was she ever going to be beaten in this competition?
Mm.
By the time the first tournament of champions, where all the winners came,
mm-hmm.
she lost.
Mm.
She literally lost. At that time, we didn't have a wild card to, get one
mm-hmm.
of the big. We didn't have it.
Mm-hmm.
She lost. She did not win the tournament of champions, the very first one. The point is that some days are great days, some days are off days. At the end of the day, I think we should not overflog this. Everybody is not going to. Sometimes I go to YouTube or Facebook and I read some of the comments, and sometimes I just chuckle, because at the end of the day, everybody will have their opinion.
Right.
Yes, everybody would.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, there are 3 judges who are responsible for looking out for all the guidelines that you need to be able to pass through to get the points. There's one of the debaters, I can't remember her name this season, who all she was doing was just, in her presentation round, give a point, explain it in one sentence, and move on to the next one. As a judge, there's none of us here who would give that debater 3 points for that one, for each of the points that she's putting out.
Mm.
Because bottom line, what she was just doing was just name them. Probably will get 0.5 or 1. That's how the scoring is. If you build on your points and give data or give examples, you get the maximum points. In the course of your rebuttal, we always say this. You can't if you don't rebut all your opponent's points, you're not going to score marks for whatever you do at the end of the day.
Mm.
Sometimes the audience might not know that part, and they've listened, they've heard this person has finished rebutting and giving 2-3 new points. And maybe in their head, they've added those 2-3 points to their own scores.
Mm.
It scores 0 in the judges' books because you did not rebut all the points of your opponent. So, again, without trying to sound like we're doing shalaye, because I think we've said enough, but one thing remains. Somebody will win or lose. Sometimes the margins can be tight.
Yep.
But like I said earlier, if any person who is unbiased takes his or her time, goes back online, Nigeria Info FM on YouTube, Nigeria Info 993 on Facebook, to watch that semi-finals again, I'm not sure we'll be having this conversation.
Okay. Well, I want to read a message from WhatsApp, from Facebook Live, actually. This person says, no, sorry, it's YouTube Live. Olabisi Dere here says, let's move on to important things, I beg. The world does not revolve around Tollywood. Showing their students' prowess here is also good for their business. So I hope they enjoy this publicity. And Emmanuel Oluwaseun says, I think Dora should be the one doing all this shenanigans, not Oyindamola. Well, everybody has an opinion. But I think that we've done enough talking on this issue. I sincerely think that the message has been passed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, what I think Tollywood has done is block the way for other schools who would have been sincere enough to want to participate in the sponsorship from ever participation.
Yeah, no more. Just bring your kids. Bring your kids. Don't sponsor. And if you want to sponsor, let it be that you are not participating.
Yes, if you must.
So it's one way or the other. You know,
and that goes forever.
So that we can keep the sanctity of the content.
Yeah, and
God knows. Like, I mean, I'm a parent, and you know, when you're a parent, there's an emotion you feel when kids go into contests. I have kids. I try to make sure. I'm not a fan of internal contest between, as a policy in our house, there is no competition
between the kids.
But no competition. There is no competition. No, I don't believe one kid is smarter than the other or brighter or.
There's no need for that comparison. It's not good for their mental health. It's not good in any way.
So usually, and I worry is just sitting down here when kids have to compete because kids are kids. I just shared my own personal experience of when I thought I was cheated and all of that, and with tears I said something silly. I was probably 9 or something of the sort, and I've shared before where I went to a state essay competition and I won the debate. You know, something isn't adding up. I have to borrow. I don't know what's up with my mic. So, and I won that debate. You know, a very nice lady teacher had taken me to that debate. And I got there. Hundreds of schools, you know, were coming to write the debate. I didn't even understand half of what I was there to do. All I knew was that they said I should write a 500-word essay on what I can do to make Nigeria great. So I carried my pen and started to write. I didn't even think I was going to win. I was just good at writing. And so I wrote my debate. And then when they were calling winners, they said I had won. I didn't even understand the scope of it. But something else then happened. There was a protest. And the protest was because they said they had seen my teacher, the young lady teacher who took me. They had seen her in conversation with another male teacher. And supposedly it was that male teacher who marked my paper. So, you know, this debate, there were hundreds of schools. So what they did, the markers were the teachers. So they just switched the papers. You take these schools, mark. So I do not know what they were saying. So there was a protest, and the protest went to the schools board, to the state ministry, and all of that, to the point where the ministry then said, bring the 10 best essays. So they sent all the 10 best essays, including my own. Now, that essay was scored over 20. I got 19 over 20. I think the school that came first scored whether 17 or 16 or 17.5, something like that. And when the things were sent to the ministry, and my school was not a top school, right? When they remarked all the 10 best papers and sent it back, my score was now 19.5 over 20. They just put plus 1.5, and the argument was that the distance between the first my debate and that of the person who came second was too wide, so they just did plus 1.5. Now, I was too young to even understand the complexities. I remember that my school threw a party and I didn't even know what they were troubling me about. But again, saying this because a child is a child. You understand? Yeah, they are teenagers now, 14-year-old. I mean, this young girl is 14. And you're going to look back, your battle scars over the years. Oh, I was so good. I did this. I won this. I won that. And then you would lose when you don't think. When you don't think you might lose. It's a teaching opportunity. So let's leave it. Some of your comments. Good evening, Mr. Femi, Yvonne, and Maryann. I was guilty of thinking that the competition would favor the participants from the school, that's the sponsoring schools. However, I had a change of mind when I heard the child. Nonetheless, was this not the one you read before? Nonetheless,
no.
My suspicions would have been proven right if the Oyindamola had won that semi-finals. I listened carefully. I didn't get the name of this person, but we appreciate it. Who else here? Good day, team. That is why there are standards and principles regarding such. It creates room for such entitlement mentality as Tollywood has clearly exhibited. Could we have Naomi come in, please? Going forward, hope you guys will stop the practice of sponsors being part of the competition itself. That line should be drawn and not toyed with. Tollywood school should be sanctioned to serve as a deterrent to other schools. Can you imagine trying to spoil the success of the awesome competition? That's Joe Bong from Gloucester.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And I totally understand this, but I'm not going to go so far as to I just kind of feel that maybe this person, if this person had the permission of the school to send out that info, then to send out that message, then maybe the school should. I told that she should not be allowed, but I just kind of feel that who am I punishing? I mean, who would we be punishing?
Because I think that no one really asked this child what she wanted.
Yeah, I guess,
I want to believe so.
I guess maybe we'll just let this whole blow over, and maybe we would have the conversation with the school and all of that. Here's a message. Tollywood College is not serious. Nigeria, if you need to put a 24-hour deadline for cancellation, and after they miss it without a tangible reason, blacklist them. I remember the case of David versus Demilade. It was diction that made him lose. I was pained, and I sent a message for the first time because of David. How are they teaching their students to handle losses? There will be more losses in life that would be worse than this. Nigeria Info, there should be sanctions. Who are they to think they can hold you down, and they're sending a Jagwajantis message at 4 p.m. Who told them they are the best? Well, man, these messages, I cannot.
There are too many.
Yes,
but
we'll come back to them later. Naomi, thanks for joining us. How are you?
I'm fine.
And tired, I can tell.
Naomi has this thing where she's always like...
She's got a strange demeanor. You really can't... She's unreadable, I'm sorry to say. You can't really read her. And she shows up into the studio, acts like she might lose. But then she has that thing. She just looks down and states all her points. And she's very stealth.
I remember in the semi-finals when I asked her, are you ready for this? And she just... I was like, this poor child. Are you sure her mind is here? And then when the debate started. Oh, Naomi, by the way, how has it been for you in this debate?
It has not been easy at all. Right from when I lost the first round, I was like, when they told me I'm on white card, my mom was like, maybe they will call me back. I said, forget it, they won't call me back. When I saw the call, I was surprised. Then I said, maybe it's for me to give it my best. Then I came back. I won the round of 16.
Yeah, that first debate you lost was to Oyindamola, right?
Yes. When I came back, I won the round of 16. I was very happy. Then won the round of 8. Then it got to the semi-finals where I lost. I was like, at least I have my spot at the nationals. So when I found that I'll be debating with Oyindamola today, I was like,
yeah.
I was like, not again.
Like, what is my own in this life?
is this my lot? Oh God.
Poor child.
But how do you feel now that you know that she didn't show up? That she
By the
pulled
way,
up?
you've won third prize and you've
That's
also
right.
won 250,000 and
Yes.
some gadgets to boot. So
Congratulations to you.
Congratulations, applause are in order. Yes.
Thank you.
Well done. So now that you know, how do you feel? Yeah, 250,000 naira recharge.
Plus other gadgets.
Yeah, so have you ever had 250,000 naira in your personal account?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah, rich girl, low. Even me, I don't have 250,000.
Was it a contest? Did you win something?
No.
Okay.
It wasn't a contest.
Okay. Brilliant.
Abi, you have one business.
No,
on
she
the
does.
side. You do.
You entrepreneur.
You're a business girl already?
Okay, girl. Okay.
What's your business? Let's sell your market. What do you?
I sell caps to my uncle abroad, so he sends the money back to me.
Oh, you sell caps? What kind of caps?
I don't know if they call it Zara caps. That they wear on the head.
What type of caps? Traditional?
No, not traditional.
Oh, so the nice papa's cap.
No, not that one. It's like they usually call it air bonnet, something like that. Sure.
Oh.
Yes.
So you buy it and send to?
No, I sew.
You sew it yourself?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm.
And you send it abroad? Yeah. Femi, I think we're in the wrong business.
We should open shop.
Can I come and learn? Can I come and be your intern? Can you teach me how to sew?
Yes.
Okay. I'm signing up.
You know, I was thinking she'll be having 250k. Okay, another 250k. Let me see. That will swell my account to like 15 million. 250k. I didn't know it was a businesswoman or business girl. Okay,
nice.
Fantastic. Now there are some who have seen you debate and have said you appear to be burying your head and reading something. Yes, I've seen some of those comments.
Yes, but I feel comfortable that way than looking at my opponent's face.
So you're actually just avoiding eye contact?
Yes.
Why? Eye contact unsettles you?
Not really, but I feel comfortable that way like this than looking at.
Are you that person that when you're writing exams, you do like...
It's not like you are reading everything you are saying, or are you reading?
No, I'm not reading it too.
So
everything is on my head.
Okay.
In your head?
In my head.
Mm-hmm. So when you come, what happens? Do we allow you or any of the debaters bring any notebook or any paper in?
No.
You come alone?
Yes.
And what do? We give you a plain sheet so that you can jot down your points, right?
Yes.
So for those who might be listening, once again, there is no reading. We don't allow it. We really do not allow it. It might seem like that, but it is not like that. Again, don't forget, these kids have different coping mechanisms, and they're entitled. It's like the spelling bees. Some kids like to stand and spell. Some like to hop and spell. Some can skip on one leg. Whatever happens, as long as it does not go against the rules,
yeah,
it's
all good.
Yeah, it's all good.
So congratulations once again, businesswoman.
Thank you.
Manage our 250k because you already have more.
Add that to your repertoire. By the way, Lagos, not just to miss out, because we had what a fantastic topic. What's the topic of your debate? Is it me or is your microphone seizing?
Try it again. Yeah.
Okay, so something is wrong. We're going to switch your microphone. Feel free. I know we are in front of the camera. Get up and come over to the opposite chair so that we can hear you. Give her a few seconds. Good. Settle in. So what's the topic of your debate?
Cash transactions are more reliable than cashless transactions.
Okay, apologies to our digital guys. You have to switch to her other camera. Something is wrong.
We get to hear a little bit of what she prepared.
Yeah. So, can you give us your debate, particularly your opening? Were you supposed to support that cash transactions?
Yes.
Are better.
Are more reliable.
Than
cashless transactions.
Can you tell us why?
cash transactions are more reliable than cashless transactions because they do not require internet connectivity or electricity, no dependence on banking or financial institutions, promote financial discipline, helps you manage your cash flow. Also, it's no hidden charges or additional costs, like when we have charges on interbank transfers, ATM withdrawals, and POS transactions. Also, no multiple verifications like the OTP code and biometric verification. No technical errors like when you bank wrongly debit a customer, to get a refund can take days or even weeks. But with cash, there is no risk of system malfunctions. Also, avoid without the use of technology, you can facilitate transactions. But in cashless transaction, you need digital device and other banking systems services. Also, cash transactions are more reliable than cashless transactions because government policy changes does not affect it at all. And also, cash transactions, I think that's all.
That's all.
Yes, I can't remember it accordingly because I'm not debating.
Okay, you're not debating because otherwise Oyindamola would have shown you pepper.
She would have swept you under the carpet.
But brilliant. I know you since 4 p.m. you've left competition mode, so totally understandable. Congratulations once again. We know we need to let you go.
Sure. Yeah.
But do you know we are going to expect you in the studio tomorrow for the presentation and the pictures, along with the 2 finalists?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So be here because you are not competing. You don't have to come too early.
Yeah.
But be here for like 5.
Okay.
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 In the studios tomorrow, and then we'll do the presentation.
Okay, sir.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
darling. Going to more of your messages. This one says, "Hello guys, I'm saddened to hear that what you guys are broadcasting. I am more saddened that this show that has brought so much excitement will be tainted with such allegations, especially at the dying moments. This beautiful show, the students and listeners don't deserve this. Tollywood should not do this to us. And to think that they sponsored last edition. Did their candidate win the last edition? What I have not heard though is if they had withdrawn the prize money. Did they?" Asked Franklin from Lekki. No, we have not gotten that communication. Even at this point, I wouldn't even mind giving it up.
Yeah.
But I think it's more than that. Again, I do not want to demonize Tollywood. I kind of feel that whoever sent this message did not think things through. And if that is the reflection of how you really, really, really feel that your candidate was cheated, well, it's unfortunate. It's typical that when you lose, you are more critical of the contest than the person who wins. It just so happens. And so we'll just leave it. I don't want to say I don't want to say much more than that. And again, I would say thanks to Tollywood College for the prize money. I don't think the sentiments or these very thoughtless words properly represents the school. So I kind of feel that maybe we'll hear from the school later. Maybe.
Well, I'm really hoping that we hear from them.
Yes.
Let it be that this was.
Maybe it was just somebody going rogue.
Yes.
Yeah, and control your emotions. Come on, man. I don't know whether you're a man or a woman. Good day, Mr. Femi. I think the third place match should be scrapped henceforth. A similar case study. The Euros does not have a third place matchup. Yes, even the Champions League does not have. Yeah, but again, look at it.
This is a debate.
It's a debate. At least give somebody else. I mean, there are prizes. Let somebody else feel like, okay, I didn't win it. You know that sometimes in a debate, winning the third place can be more. Have you seen that? So in the final of a World Cup, the two teams that play the final, when one team wins, Let's say you've played the third place match the same day. You see, the team that finished third is usually more jubilant than the team that finished second, because the team that finished second has just lost, but the team that finished third had just won. They had lost before. They had already mourned their loss, and they've come back, and then they are happy. You will see them jumping around. We finished third, and you will see the people who finished second putting their head down like this. It's just the thing with competition. It can happen to anyone. So
yeah, Zaboli here says, good evening, the I beg to differ crew. Please give your callers the opportunity to also air their views on what's playing out
yes,
here.
You're right.
She says, Edjo. And she says, Femi, this is for you. Please stop holding brief for Tollywood.
That's why we will not take your call. Because you will just come and scatter everywhere.
Anyway.
Please, let's just again remember, it's not just about the institution; it's about the kids. So, I mean, let's not make the same mistake that they made. So,
yes, obviously. So the phone lines are open. You know the numbers to call. Let's start with the mail line. Hello.
Good evening, Maryann.
Good evening.
Me and Yvonne. You have a man on the line speaking to you from the press.
Go ahead.
Welcome.
I think that publication is unfortunate, and I don't want to tie it to the school, just as Mr. Femi said. And again, if people in organization should then have to act, code of conduct. That kind of information should be separated. Don't tie the school to it. I think the school should do proper investigation, on this kind of thing. Now, going forward, some of us who share our views, disagreeing on some aspect of the event does not necessarily mean the point of the churches. If I remember, just as somebody said, Ramadan or Lamileko, nobody ever expected him that he was going to beat Tambiketa Kaushik in those early days of I Beg to Differ. This guy who speaks like Mr. Femi I forgot his name, miraculously also defeated somebody, So sometimes the best debater, we have some days, that they won't just work out for them. So I don't want the debate and the crew, to be disappointed, by with this, because I beg to differ is like a child to some of us, and we are proud of you. Thank you, and
Thank you very much for calling.
Appreciate it.
Hello, welcome to I Beg to Differ.
Hi, Mimi. Good evening, everyone.
Turn off your radio, please.
It's up.
Go ahead.
It's up.
Go ahead.
Go ahead now. Okay. So I didn't watch this particular episode. My name is Florence. I didn't watch this particular episode, but I love the program, and I'm hoping that we could get better sponsors in future. But I just thought about something, and I was going to share it with Femi. So this is me thinking out of the box. If it's possible to get some form of challenge system, maybe when you get into like the semi-finals and your results are being challenged by maybe either of the opposing parties, and then you can say, okay, I would have our judges revisit this and in 24 hours to bring out our results, just to be fair.
Yes. Yes.
Open,
makes sense.
Something what the school has done. I have nothing to. I just thinking out of the box and seeing if it's something we can actually look at.
Yeah.
Just to keep a challenge.
I like that.
School should know better.
Yeah. I think we should consider that for as we go into the national finals later.
Yeah.
I think
not at
yes.
every level, because it's a lot of work. Maybe at the quarterfinals,
Yeah. Because in any contest, there should be there's usually like a contest opportunity.
Not like our INEC kind of.
Yes. I totally agree.
Why even with the results?
I totally agree. As a matter of fact, if we have time, we'll probably even air that episode in its entirety. Again, if we could find the time.
And I think you'll probably get a follow-up communication from the school.
Yes,
it doesn't
hopefully.
sound professional. It's not like what I think a standard organization should do. Educational it's quite sad. I think it was just someone who was impulsive, just wrote that message. So let's look out for more communication from the
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Florence, for calling.
Somebody says, good evening, everyone. From the first day Tollywood decided to sponsor I Beg to Differ, I knew that something like this would come up because the school will expect their student to win and also try to bend the hand of Nigerian food in order to increase the bragging rights of their school.
All right, we have a caller. Hello.
Thank you for speaking. Hey, Maria, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, Femi.
Yes.
You have to do like, yeah.
All right.
Femi, I've been playing this debate right from day one, and I know Vaughn and Sandra used to tell the children, you're not a loser, you have won. Coming here, you have done a great job, and you're still a winner, no matter what result you have got today. I know they told them that all the time. Please, I don't want us to put Tollywood on the table as that debate.
Yeah.
The reason is clear. You have not heard from the official communication line of that school. And I sincerely appreciate the fact that we have spoken about it. That is able to validate the quality control measures that are put into the whole debate. That they are not for anybody, but for quality. So that is a sterling quality of the debate. And I know it has always been like that. Please, and again, you said you're not going to allow any school to bring their own competitor into whatever. No. Because of what you see today, just make sure that there are conditions, terms and conditions for whoever is going to be the sponsor. You know, you are not going to be, telling us what to do. You are doing what you are doing. And the last time Tollywood was here, there was nothing like this. So that I don't want to believe the guilt of anything. Please let us give them some slack and just maintain the standard is quality, and that is the quality. Remember that Maryann lost the third place that came with some opera. The semi-final, and he came back at the final. I mean, he came back during the first national, and he became the second person.
Yeah.
You get that? So I don't think there's anything new here. Good.
Yeah, thank you.
You said what?
No,
I say I appreciate your.
So please, let any school do it, so let them come. It's a brand, and just keep it open for all of them. Nobody should just do because of somebody who is a rogue, whatever, is doing something like that, now making it representing the school. I don't believe in that. Give them the fair hearing.
Thank you very much.
Well, to rebuild their image.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate you.
But what's
and I also like what he said about Ramadan. I remember that on that occasion, I could not rest. I mean, even on social media, people were tagging me, calling. I remember that I had to summon Sandra to my office and say, what's going on? And then I realized that, so something happened. And there was a lesson that I took from that debate. I think it was after that debate that we decided that we will not, Yvonne, remind me, that we will not allow a sponsor be a judge.
Yes.
I think what happened in that debate that one of the judges was the sponsor.
The judges for that debate were the sponsors of I Beg to Differ in that season. And so,
so
they probably didn't understand the guidelines as much as they should have, or as well as Sandra thought they would have.
Yeah.
And yes, that happened.
Yes, that was what happened. And I remember that my instruction to Sandra is never again. In fact, at that point, I said the best that a sponsor could do was probably suggest a topic.
Yes.
But not you will not. It was an honest mistake. It was made, and it didn't work. Whatever it is, whether it was deliberate or whether it was just because they didn't understand the parameters properly, but we never ever made that mistake again. So we take all of this into account and learn from it.
I think these things have to happen so that we can get better and be a bit more organized going forward.
Yeah, I like this response, this message. Good evening, Uncle Femi. I'm ADB. Please, can you call for a replay of that debate to clear the doubts of so many people like the Tollywood College? I mean, if possible, we'll probably launch that debate at 3 p.m. tomorrow.
They can always go back to YouTube and Facebook.
It's on
YouTube.
It's on YouTube. Just
it's there.
Look
they
for
should
it.
Just go and watch it.
I think it's tagged semi-final. I'll probably.
Yes, it is.
Just go to Nigeria Info's Facebook and YouTube.
The full debate. And I'm saying, like, as somebody who has been a fan of that young girl throughout, I was really, really shocked at what happened to her on that day. But I wasn't surprised because it has happened before. It can happen. And it was okay. If anything, I was even happy when I saw the judges' result, that the gap was not so wide. I was even happy that I was thinking that the result
You probably have to move there. Well, I think we just have about 2 minutes before we wrap things up. So let me just read a few more messages coming in. Someone here says, "Good evening, Oga, Femi, Maryann, and the Golden Voice on the news, Yvonne. What happened today has just set a precedent. That's why we live in a world where we keep learning every day by the events and things that happen around us. We too have also learned our own, but whosoever that put up that show should have done something better. But all the same, you guys had managed it well. Though we sense an exasperation, but kids..." Okay, he says, "But kudos for being the gentleman, Oga Femi." This is from Merchant Man. He's saying, kudos to you for being a gentleman. Do you consider yourself a gentleman?
You have to ask my wife.
Okay.
I don't know, because if whatever my wife tells you is true, and sometimes you might think you are one thing, but nobody knows you more than your wife. At the end of the day, I just think sometimes it's okay for emotions to run riot. These things would happen. I actually feel bad. I was a bit reluctant to even talk about the matter, and I remember I was being told we have to address it. My natural instinct would be let it be. They're just this person is just being a sore loser, because now this person, whoever this person is, maybe this person has authority, or maybe I hope it's just not just the maybe I don't know, maybe just some teacher who's been
we await a public apology
look at it.
and response.
But it's okay, and I'm not going to demonize Tollywood. We appreciate their partnership and sponsorship. Tomorrow is a final, and I am more interested in their students participating than in the sponsorship. The price sponsorship does not change much for us to be, trust me. But we appreciate it, so we don't sound ungrateful. But that's not even the thing. The point is, these kids are brilliant. Ucheja showed us, and Akinsulie has also shown us. And I don't know who else is going to come from that school. And I think they will be equally brilliant. Let us not do things that will close the doors that puts these kids on the limelight. Let's keep it open.
We've got to go. We have just 40 seconds. We want to thank everyone, our sponsors, Obi Weezy, D&D Travels.
DMP Travels.
DMP Travels, I beg your pardon.
Diamonds and Pearls Travels.
Yes, thank you so much. And of course, the Christian schools.
Yes.
We appreciate everyone.
And Tollywood College.
We want to thank our guys, Babatunde, Toby, Sheriff. Sheriff is the best, by the way. But tomorrow we'll be back here at 3.
And Genevieve and
everyone. The judges, we love you. And those of you who listen, someone just said, how do I get the previous debates? Go on YouTube.
Nigeria Info.
Yes.
Go on YouTube, Nigeria Info. Run for it. You will see semi-finals. They attacked.
All the previous debates, you can find them on YouTube.
Yeah.
My name is Maryann, Okon, Yvonne Haifo.
You are
Femi.
listening
Goodbye.
to your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.